CEOs, we are back for part 2 with Dr. Marquita. I had so much fun with her on the first episode that I asked her to stay around a little bit longer so that we can answer some questions, talk just a little bit more, because I am sure without a shadow of a doubt in 2018, there are a lot of CEOs out there looking for love. So if this is your first time joining Coffee with Bridgett, please by all means subscribe to my YouTube channel and catch up on season 1 so you'll know all things about Coffee with Bridgett. So today, my special guest, Dr. Marquita.
Yes.
And we're talking about love in 2018.
Absolutely.
Yes. So, Dr. Marquita, let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
All right. So now, I have friends, and then I also know people who are newly divorced. And they're starting over. I'm starting over looking for love. And so there's that fear. The fear of I don't want my heart broke again.
Absolutely.
The fear of how much do I share with someone because I've shared myself, you know, in the past. So what do you recommend or suggest for those that are new, that are going back into the dating game?
Yes. Divorce is so hard for everybody involved, and you know there is no timeline for healing your heart. So you have to be the best estimate around, am I ready to begin to add someone else to my life? Is it time for me to just begin to have conversations with people? I think the first thing that you have to do is think through all of the emotional residue that the divorce has left on your heart, and think about those questions that people typically have around you know, whose fault was it? What were my actions? What were my partner's actions? What do I want to do differently in a new relationship? What did I learn about this process? And come to terms with all of that before you get out into the world. Once you decide that you're ready to date, just take it slow, take it easy. Have a coffee date.
That's cute. See, have a coffee date.
Have a coffee date.
Yes.
Yes.
And if when you have your coffee date, make sure you're drinking some Bridgett's brew, okay?
Absolutely. And, you know, just allow the conversation to run easily. You know, you don't want to give all of your details and facts up front, but you don't want to hold it until, you know, 10 dates down the line and surprise the person with the truth of who you are. You have to let it unroll organically. Talk about what you're looking for. You know, talk about who you are, what's important to you, your passions, your goals, and allow the person to get inside, because sitting there on the coffee date, the outside is already attracted, right? But you want to allow it to unfold so both you and the other person are comfortable.
Wow, that's good. So now, let's stay in that same vein with starting over and, you know, allowing someone to, in your space.
When you say in your space, you mean in your home, just having a date?
No, in your space mentally.
Okay, emotionally, mentally. Got it.
And mentally in your space. You know, I believe that there's a barrier that has been set now, so that, you know, it's hard to let someone get past that barrier. And then when you start to meet people, you start to consider, what do I share with you and what things I hold back, especially when you are a woman of power, when you're not a woman that's easily intimidated. So how can you balance, you know, how do you balance being a woman of power, you know, who has set up barriers, but also wants to find love?
So you talk about being a woman of power, right? So I'll use a business analogy.
Okay.
In business, before you decide to take a risk, you want to do a cost-benefit analysis, right? Same thing works here. You want to think about, what are the costs of me holding this wall around my heart. And then what are the benefits of it? So the benefits, right? Nobody gets in, I can't get hurt. But it's the same cost. Nobody gets in, right? So this is a process where you have to ask yourself, are the benefits or do the benefits outweigh the costs?
Wow, that's good. That's real good.
Because, you know, it's the same thing. If you are interested in spending some time with a person and considering letting them in, they're doing the same thing with you. So you don't want to have to tear your knees and scrape your sides trying to crawl over their wall, right? So you want to give them, you know, an opportunity to not have to go through the same moat around your heart and get eaten by the alligators and everything before they can find out who you really are. But as always, proceed with caution. In any, you know, cost-benefit risk analysis, you proceed with caution.
That's really good. So now this is one of the questions that I've gotten from one of my girlfriends, and so I kind of gave some feedback. Not that I am a licensed anything on relationships.
Some of the best advice come from our girlfriends
Not at all.
and family members.
So she was sharing with me, you know, about she had met, you know, a nice guy, and he, you know, they've been talking on the phone, and he's gonna take her out on a date.
Great.
And so he said to her, I'm gonna take you out on a date, take you to a really nice restaurant.
Okay.
So she was like, oh, okay, great. And he said, I'm gonna take you to Ruby Tuesdays.
Okay.
All right. So when she called me, she was so hyped. She was like, girl, what you think? You know? And I said, well, honestly, I'm not sure if you want my answer. Because first of all, if he told me that he's taking me to Ruby Tuesday, I would have told him I need to take you to dinner. Because Ruby Tuesday, I love Ruby Tuesday. Salad bar is banging, okay? Right. He should have framed it different. Because I go to Ruby Tuesday all the time with my girls, okay? Yeah. But if you're going to take me on a really nice date, you know, what about Capitol Grill, Ruth Chris, R2L? So my advice to her was not that relationships are about money and things, because they aren't, okay?
Right.
But I also believe that, you know, you never come down to where someone else is. So if you want to date me, you got to come up, because I'm dating up, not dating down. And it's one thing if you don't have, but you got ambition and you have drive.
Absolutely.
But it's another thing when you gonna pop up like, hey, I got it like that, you know. So my advice to her was, listen, it's all about what you want. Now, me as your sister, I would tell him, let me make the reservation if there's someone you're interested in, and let me take you to dinner.
Oh,
my advice bad?
Oh, my goodness.
What's my advice bad?
Oh, Lord Jesus. We're not going to say your advice was bad. We're going to reframe that. It was very specific to your experience. But what I will say, as you were telling me that, and he said, I'm going to take you to a nice restaurant, I thought, well, nice is relevant.
Okay.
You know, relative to your experience. Right. So nice to this gentleman may have been Ruby Tuesday. Nice to you is R2L or Capitol Grill or some other more expensive restaurant. Right. I think that we as women have to not be afraid to ask questions. Right. You want to find out what this potential suitor's financial, you know, background is, and what are their experiences. How have their experiences either matched yours or not matched yours? Because then you can get a sense of if nice is a chain or you know, a standalone steakhouse. And so I get where you're coming from. I also think that as you vet suitors, I think that there is a clearing time, right? Dating is so varied out here today. And, you know, some women will talk about, you know, dating for the come up. Some men will talk about, you know, I date 2 or 3 times a week trying to figure out who I want to get to know better. And it's expensive, right? And so I think that it's okay to start out just sort of with a baseline date to get to know a person. And once you decide, okay, this is somebody I want to spend some time with, with, then you say, okay, babe, come on, put on your red dress and your high heels, and then you can take them to where you go. But so, you want to make sure that you understand why he's offering you this chain restaurant. Is it a matter of finance? Is it a matter of experience? Or is it a matter of, let's just kind of take clear expectations, get to know each other, and see if we want to pursue it further, and then I got you.
I love it. Listen, CEOs, I can talk to Dr. Marquita all day. Like, I feel like we having kitchen table talk.
I love it.
Like, I forget that there's even a camera that we're recording. So, CEOs, please follow Dr. Marquita. Can you tell my social media CEOs how to connect with you?
Absolutely. On Twitter, I'm at Dr. Marquita. That's a DrMarquita. And on Instagram, I'm at Ask Dr. Marquita. And you can send me questions at AskDrMarquita@gmail.com.
This has been another amazing experience. Yes. Dr. Marquita, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for helping me kick off season 2. CEOs, I told you. I mean, it only gets better from here. So I am so glad you're here with me again. So much more to tell you. We got amazing things happening. So stay connected. Email me at coffeewithbridgett@gmail.com. Until next episode, make today amazing.
Cheers.